There are very few channels that can legitimately be described as foundational to an entire genre of content. While countless creators have found success through gaming videos, only a handful helped establish the format itself. GameGrumps belongs firmly within that group. Alongside organizations such as Rooster Teeth and the Yogscast, GameGrumps helped define what online entertainment could look like. While all three aren't all often associated with gaming, their true contributions extends far beyond games themselves. They helped establish many of the foundations upon which modern content creation now operates. My name is Jacko, and in this issue of YouTuber's Digest, we'll be examining GameGrumps. Specifically, why they stand among the foundational figures of online content creation, how they transformed simple playthroughs into compelling entertainment, what their success reveals about the true appeal of Let's Play content, and why their influence extends far beyond gaming itself. When discussing the history of gaming content online, it becomes difficult to avoid the influence of GameGrumps. Alongside Rooster Teeth and the Yogscast, GameGrumps helped establish many of the conventions that modern creators now take for granted. Interestingly, neither Rooster Teeth nor the Yogscast were purely gaming channels. While games often served as a backdrop for the content, what they were truly building were communities, personalities, production pipelines, and entirely new forms of digital entertainment. GameGrumps occupies a similar position. Like Rooster Teeth and the Yogscast, the channel emerged during a period when the internet was still discovering what audiences actually wanted from online content. There were no established best practices, no creator handbooks, and no clear roadmap for success. Much of what we now consider normal had yet to be invented. Part of what allowed GameGrumps to navigate this uncertainty was the background of its original founder, Aaron Hansen. Long before GameGrumps, Hansen had already built a reputation through his animation work on Newgrounds, one of the most influential creative spaces of the early internet. Through years of creating and interacting within that environment, he gained something that many later creators would never experience firsthand, an understanding of internet audiences while internet culture itself was still being formed. Much like Lewis and Simon of Yogscast or Bernie Burns of Rooster Teeth, Aaron Hansen belonged to a generation of creators who helped shape the online world rather than simply participate in it. These creators learned through direct experience what audiences respond to, what they rejected, how communities formed, and how online humor evolved. They understood something many traditional media companies struggled to grasp. The internet was not simply another version of television, it was its own medium. Viewers want authenticity, they want interaction, they want personalities rather than presenters. They want the feeling of participation rather than passive consumption. GameGrumps succeeded because it understood those desires. In many ways, everyone working within gaming content today owes some portion of their career to creators like GameGrumps. Whether directly inspired by them or simply benefiting from their ecosystem that they helped build, modern creators operate within a landscape these groups helped establish. One of the most impressive aspects of GameGrumps is how often the game itself becomes irrelevant. Many channels rely heavily on exciting gameplay, dramatic moments, competitive skill, or even high production values to maintain audience attention. GameGrumps has frequently done the opposite. Some of their most memorable series emerged from games that were repetitive, frustrating, poorly designed, or simply not very interesting on their own, yet viewers continued watching. This is because the channel understood something fundamental about entertainment. People often return for personalities rather than subject matter. A simple walkthrough level, a failed puzzle attempt, or an extended period of wandering could become entertaining through conversation alone. What would otherwise be mundane became engaging because of the interactions surrounding it. GameGrumps has demonstrated that a playthrough did not need to be exceptional for the content to be exceptional. At the heart of GameGrumps is banter. The conversations rarely feel scripted or overly structured. Stories drift naturally between topics, jokes build unexpectedly, and discussions evolve far beyond whatever is happening on screen. Importantly, the chemistry feels genuine rather than performative. Viewers are not simply listening to commentary about a game. They are listening to a conversation between people who understand one another's timing, humor, strengths, and weaknesses. That familiarity creates comfort. Even when a game becomes frustrating, repetitive, or confusing, the conversation remains entertaining enough to carry the episode forward. Time and time again, GameGrumps has demonstrated that funny, well-timed, and friendly banter can transform even the most mundane gameplay into something worth watching. This ability sounds simple, but is remarkably difficult to replicate. Many channels attempt to imitate the format, but few manage to capture the same natural rhythm. GameGrumps also serves as a reminder that successful content does not always require complexity. Modern YouTube often rewards increasingly elaborate editing, expensive production techniques, and constant visual stimulation. GameGrumps built much of its success on an intentionally simple premise: two people playing a video game and talking. What made that premise work was execution. The channel demonstrated that strong chemistry, good comedic timing, and engaging storytelling can often accomplish more than elaborate production. Their videos rarely depended on spectacle because the entertainment was already present in the interactions itself. In an ecosystem obsessed with escalation, GameGrumps proved that simplicity still has value. The influence of GameGrumps can be seen throughout the gaming space today. Many creators, intentionally or otherwise, have adopted elements of the formula the channel helped popularize: personality-driven gameplay, conversational commentary, long-form playthroughs, and the understanding that viewers often care more about the people than the game. This influence extends beyond direct imitation. By helping establishing gaming content as a viable career path, GameGrumps contributed to the broader growth of the creator economy itself. Like Rooster Teeth and the Yogscast, they demonstrated that online entertainment could be sustainable, professional, and capable of supporting entire careers. More importantly, they showed future creators what was possible. GameGrumps helped prove that gaming content did not need extraordinary gameplay to be extraordinarily entertaining. Through humor, timing, and genuine conversation, they transformed simple playthroughs into experiences that viewers want to return to again and again. Like Rooster Teeth and the Yogscast, they occupy a foundational space within the history of online content creation. Their legacy is not simply a collection of videos, but a demonstration of what happens when creators understand the internet as its own medium rather than a lesser version of television. In many ways, the modern gaming ecosystem, and much of the wider creator ecosystem alongside it, was built upon that understanding. Games may have been in the backdrop, but the real achievement was helping define what online content creation could become.
Loved him before?
Yes.
I do.